take one last ride. Ride around this carousel.
What's going on, YouTube? How's my favorite trucking community out there? It's your boy, the Highway Cowboy, your best trucking friend out there. Just coming with you guys motovlogging today. I hope you don't mind. Why am I motovlogging? Because, well, why not? I'm still on my forced vacation here. The truck's in the shop, and I want to keep pumping out good content for you guys. And I want to make an educational video for you guys today. Now, what do I mean by that? Now, this subject I want to cover is getting into your own authority. This is a question I get asked fairly often. That what is necessary? What do I need to do to open up your carrier business? Or what do you want to be a business owner? What do I need to do? You know, the first initial steps. Now, before I get into any of that, I need to mention to you guys, please have the proper mindset. This is, you know, you have to be aware that there's going to be a lot more work involved into being an owner-operator, being a carrier, running a business, than rather just being, you know, an employee driver. You have to have the right work ethic getting into this, and if, you know, you're not good with stressful situations or things of that nature, I don't know what to tell you guys, but that's probably not the course you guys want to take. But yeah, so that being said, also, before you get into this, you have to have money put aside for it. If I were to take a good number, you know, a good estimate, I would say $20,000 to $30,000 in today's market right now, with the trucks being what they are, you know, the down payment. There's a lot of money that's going to go out the door very fast, and it's scary, but it's just the price. You know, you gotta spend money to make money. That's how it is, right, guys? So right before you get into all of this, make sure you got money scored away. Don't borrow money. Don't run off credit cards, because you're gonna fail faster than you even started. So that needs to be priority number one before you even make a decision of moving forward. Okay, but now step number one. This is where all the fun parts are. This is where the paperwork starts, guys. There's a lot of paperwork in being a business owner and being an owner-operator on your own authority. This is where it all starts, and believe me, it's gonna look like a long, drawn-out process, and in some aspects it is, but there's light at the end of the tunnel as long as you do everything right, guys. So what is step one? Well, step one is the creative side of it, right? Or, you know, the very first step, you opening up a business. You want to get with your local state, you know, to register your business with your state, and you file all the paperwork, which is not a complicated process, to be honest with you. You know, you have to, you know, put all your, you know, general information, addresses, names, and all that stuff. And then here's the creative side of it. You get to pick your company name, right? But spend time to think of it wisely. Don't do my mistake. I have a long business name that it starts to get annoying a year into you owning your own business. So, you know, it's not something you want to be annoying later on down the line. So pick wisely, be creative, and have fun with that. Okay? But once you get that scored away, you know, it's not a long process. It's what, like a day or 2 or 3 days, assuming you did all your paperwork right. They'll send you your business your business license, all your paperwork, your articles of organization, and all that stuff to your email. This is what I did, because I hired on a third-party company, to do all that for me, starting off. So that's the way I did it. It's not complicated. So once you have that scored away, you really want to decide what kind of business structure you want to have. Then what I mean by that is you want to be a sole proprietorship, or you want to do an LLC, a limited liability company, or you want to incorporate. Now, this is important to, you know, have decided on with the guidance of an accountant or a CPA as well, because this all comes down into your tax filing purposes, guys. So when, like for me, for example, I picked an LLC, and why did I do that? And it's a personal decision, because in case I ever want to decide to hire on somebody down in the future, I don't have to hire them on as a W-2 employee. I can hire them on as subcontractors, right? It's a 1099. That's just my personal opinion. You do it however it fits you, you know, and consult with a professional in that aspect. Me, I'm not one of them. I'm not an accountant. So yeah, get that squared away. But once you have that all out of the picture, You want to use that information as well to get your EIN number, employer identification number. This is like a social security number for your business. Now, you get this from your IRS website, irs.gov. It's free, guys. There's a lot of companies going to market you. If you can do it for this amount of money, don't bother, because it's an easy process. It really is. It's just like, 5-10 minutes on the IRS website. I'll post links down below for all this stuff so you guys can go check it out. Hopefully that helps somebody finding everything. But yeah, it's free and it's an easy process. But mind you, make sure you get all the information right on there, because even little things like a comma could be off, and it's going to screw things up later on down the line. So make sure you get everything exactly correct. Okay. All right. Well, once you get that all the way, somewhere in this process, you should, already be looking around for trucks, because that's like, let's be face it, that's the important part of the business. There's no business without the truck. So you should be running around somewhere, on the websites, whether it be Truck Trader or something along those lines, shopping around for the truck that pleases you and fits your bill accordingly. Now, with that goes proper, research onto, the maintenance histories of the trucks that you're looking at. You want to know who was the previous owner. Here's my 2 cents on that. You get a truck that used to belong to a lease company like Ryder or Penske. They do everything by the books, and that's not necessarily a good thing. What I mean by that is that by the books, according to, let's say, Freightliner, they say your oil changes can be done every 50,000 miles. Yeah, no, guys, no. No, that's bad. That's really bad, okay? So, when you look into a truck that's been a single owner, maybe an owner-operator, it's been taken care of, because that's their bread and butter, that's their livelihood. So do your research on that, who owned it, as well as the common problems or the common quirks with the specific truck that you're looking at. Do all that stuff. Do the research, guys. I posted a video on what to look for previously. Go check it out, guys. But yeah, once you get that squared away, get like a VIN number. When you start getting serious about a certain truck, get a VIN number and jot it down somewhere, because that's going to be necessary moving down the line. Okay. So once you have your business squared away, you have your EIN number. This is where you started getting to the FMCSA, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, FMCSA.dot.gov, and this is where you apply for your MC number and your DOT number. First off, you have to get a DOT number first in order to get the FMCSA, or I'm sorry, the MC number. So again, this is where money's involved now. We're talking, in the ranges of maybe $250 to $300. I think it was $300 what I paid back in 2017 when I opened my carrier authority. Numbers may have changed, guys, so don't quote me on this stuff. Check it out on the website. They should be posted there. But yeah, so with the MC number, DOT number is free. MC number is the one you paid for. With the MC number, you have to get Form OP1 filed as well, and that's for hire property carrying authority. Make sure you fill that out right, guys, correctly, because there's different facets of this that you can get into, whether you're starting a motor coach company or you're a broker's authority. There's a few things that need to be involved in there, so make sure you pick the right one. That's Form OP1, and with that goes to Form BOC3. What is BOC3, guys? Another federal bureaucracy, right? Let's call it what it is, but it's a necessary thing in order to start your company. And BOC3 is basically appointing registered agents to be able to receive important federal documents for you in every state. So there's an agent registered for you that's legal to receive your documents for each state in all 50 states. It's required. It's not a lot of money. It's a very small amount of money, but it's also a requirement. So make sure you get that squared away, guys, right? Okay, so once you get that, and now here's where you start looking into larger amounts of money again, aside from the fact of putting a down payment for the truck, right? That goes in itself on a different subject, but is getting shopping around for your commercial insurance, your cargo insurance, your liability insurance. It's a requirement, guys. And if you choose to do so, you can also get general liability for your business as well. I recommend that because there's a lot of things that can go wrong outside of the truck itself. And it's better to be safe than sorry, right, guys? So now shop around for the right insurance company that's, you know, it's going to give you the coverages that you need for the right amount of money. Now, of course, when you're starting off on a new carrier authority, there's not a lot of companies that are going to want to work with you just because you're new. You know, it's a liability. You have to kind of look at their perspective as well. It's kind of understandable in a sense, but the ones that will give you insurance, Progressive is one of them. It's an A++ rated company. Everybody knows Progressive, but again, they're going to, you know, charge you a lot of money starting off, which it will get better as the years progress, lower and lower, assuming you don't get into any accidents, right, guys? So that being said, yeah, you know, do your research on that as well, and then, you know, drop a down payment for an insurance quote that suits you as closely as possible. And then remember, you're going to need to file that paperwork, and most insurance companies will do it for you. You need to file that insurance paperwork to your FMCSA, to your MC number, in order to make it active. That's one of the requirements, along with the BOC3. Without that, it's just going to be sort of in a limbo status until you get it finally, you know, active. So this is the requirements to get that active. Once you do so, now of course, let me step back for a second. You need to have that VIN number that you jotted down for the truck that you're, you know, at some point I think should be taken seriously, in order to get an appropriate quote for your insurance, because you can give a general idea, you know, a Peterbilt, a Peterbilt 389 like mine, right? If you get a general number, they'll give you a very vague number that can fluctuate drastically. So they need specific information on that vehicle to give you a realistic quote, and that along being with a VIN number. So make sure you guys get that, okay? Now, also, what will you need going aside from that? You will need your UCR, Unified Carrier Registration. This is basically another form of bureaucracy in the government. It's, again, not a lot of money. It's about 80 bucks, I think. I'm bad with numbers, guys. You probably already noticed, but yeah. UCR.gov. For one truck, it's not a lot of money. It's a yearly thing that you need to pay. But yeah. Alright, so once you get all that squared away, at this point, I would assume that at this point, you're looking for a truck, or you're going to see a truck, or even you've already did the finance paperwork, or if you're buying a cash outright, that's on you. But you should be already in your truck at this point, and headed down to the house. Now, this is the point where you have to file with International Revenue Plan, the IRP. This is basically your DMV for large vehicles, for large trucks. This is not like you're walking into a regular DMV down the road in your local town. It's very different. These IRP offices are located, generally speaking, in the state capitals. Like for me in Florida, it's in Tallahassee. In New York, it could be Albany. You know, so you have to do some driving up there. And be mindful, like anything with the DMV, it's going to take a while. So it could be a couple weeks, 2 weeks, or whatever it is. They're going to need that VIN number. They're going to need your insurance. They're going to need your business paperwork, all that good stuff, in order to get your truck registered. And again, with the same thing, IRP office also does your IFTA stickers, International Fuel Tax Agreement, Heavy Vehicle Fuel Tax Agreement. Is basically what it is. It's a small permit that you get, a fuel tax permit, along with 2 stickers that have to be on both sides of the truck. Again, it's not like, I think it's Florida is $7 or something like that. Not a big deal. You have to get that squared away as well, and IRP does it along with your IRP registration, your apportion plates. Don't get commercial plates, guys. Apportion plates, because apportion plates allows you to leave the state. Commercial plates does not. So yeah. And along with these, you want to do your what's called a drug and alcohol consortium. Okay, so this is basically a federally mandated drug screening process, drug and alcohol screening, which is completely randomized. And hey, there you go. There's a nice little group there. But anyway, sorry, squirrel. But yeah, so this is completely randomized drug and alcohol screening, which honestly I completely agree with. It should be, because the less people out there with, you know, weird substances in their body on the road, the better for us, okay? Any way you look at it. So, another thing you need to pay for annually, at least in my instance, some of them are monthly dues and things like that, but yeah, it's also a federally required, federally mandated thing you need to cover. So again, along with other things you want to do cover it, it's like you know, get everything established. Maybe if you want to do a business email, a business number, or you know, you also want to do your load boards. I use DAT load board. It's pretty much the go-to for almost everybody in the trucking industry to find your loads if you're going through brokered loads. It's again, you know, don't skimp out on that, because the higher the tier of the level that you pay for, the more options you have, the more things like you have market averages and things. Yeah, do your research on that, and it's worth the money. It really is. But yeah, so get all that squared away. And now, an additional permits, depending on where you live, like, you know, it might be New Mexico, or you may be in Oregon or New York. They have an additional permit, a fuel tax permit. Like New York has the HUT sticker, heavy use tax sticker, which is, again, not a lot of money, but you want to comply with your federal laws as well when it comes to the aspect if you're running a trucking or heavy truck business. So you want to get that squared away as well. Now, all of these things, I have to say, please have everything filed away neatly and in the right, you know, have their own separate folders where you have maintenance records for the truck, or you have your drug and alcohol consortium, put that in a separate file. Everything needs to be neatly put away, because what's going to happen, the FMCSA, within the first year, in most instances, they will do what's called a new entrant audit, where they essentially want, you know, they send an inspector. In some instances, they'll send it to your place of business, your home. They want to see the truck, they want to see your paperwork in person to make sure you're compliant and you're doing everything according to, you know, the laws, you're doing everything properly. And so, you know, the more of a mess you have and everything, the more they're going to start digging on everything, you know, to make sure why is everything a mess, you know, what else could possibly be going wrong with you. So, you know, make everything nice and neat, make your life easier, and have everything put away accordingly as well. So yeah, guys, I mean, if I missed anything, guys, please leave a comment down below. You know, something that maybe I missed. Listen, I'm getting older, guys. You know, let's be honest, my memory is fading sometimes. But yeah, but let me know. Hopefully this helps somebody. Hopefully this, you know, it catches a chord with somebody that's looking to get into the industry and making that plunge. But, you know, yeah, thanks again, guys, for being part of the channel, and hopefully this was educational for everybody. And like, comment, subscribe, guys. I love you guys. Take care. See you on the next one.